Good morning. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Today is Wednesday, July 25th, 2026, and the time is 9 a.m. I am Commission Chair Rocky Hong. Commissioners all present, but please indicate your presence when your name is called. Commissioner Thielen? Here. Commissioner Becker? Here. Commissioner Gray? Here. And the next to Executive Director Harris.
Aloha, my name is Executive Director Harris. I'm present in the conference room, as well as Administrative Assistant Melissa Bomboros. Joining remotely are Compliance Director Chang, Staff Attorney Yamanuha and Yi, and Computer Specialist Louie. Even though this is an in-person meeting, please be aware that all meeting participants are being recorded on the digital record of the Zoom meeting, which will be posted to our website and used to create official minutes. Your continued participation is your implied consent to be part of the public record of this event. If you do not wish to be part of the public record, you should exit this meeting now. For any members of the public who may be joining us remotely, if the Commission's video conference connection is lost during the meeting, we will recess the meeting and reconvene after our connection is restored. Please check the Commission's website, ethics.hawaii.gov, for information about reconnecting to the meeting. The meeting is continued to a later date or terminated. Information about this will be posted to our website. Are there any members of the public joining us who would like to identify themselves at this time?
All right.
My name is Peter Fritz. You asked for people to identify themselves, and that's fine. But I haven't heard that done before the meeting. But thank you. I am here.
Thank you for participation. All right. The first business is considerations and approval of the minutes of the June 17, 2026 meeting. Do any of the commissioners have comments or corrections to the minutes? You have a motion to approve the minutes of June 17th. Thank you. And the second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Thielen?
Aye.
Commissioner Becker?
Aye.
Commissioner Gray?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you. Correspondence. We have received the attachment from Mr. Fritz, who was present at the meeting, in supplement to his oral testimony on June 17, 2026. Do any commissioners have questions or comments? No.
Just to thank Mr. Fritz for providing that information.
Yeah, I think the commission appreciates Mr. Fritz's input, and would like to.
I do have some. This is Peter Fritz. I do have a comment or two.
Sure. Please.
Okay. I did submit this, and I'm sure the representative knows that when I've appeared before her when she was in the House of Representatives, that yes, I've done that a few times when I've been called upon to testify. But as far as certain things, when I submitted the testimony, I never received confirmation that my testimony had been received. I actually was preparing to file an ADA grievance when I noticed that it was placed on for this meeting, and I'm pleased that it's on the meeting, and I appreciate that. But I really think I should have received an acknowledgement, and that was just surprising that I didn't. Second, on a related matter, I want to reaffirm my request to receive notices from meetings and agendas. The copies I received say they're provided as a courtesy, and that characterization is inaccurate. I received these notices pursuant to a request that I made under the statutes, and I ask that the record reflect this so that the provision is not misunderstood as being discretionary and treated as something that can be withdrawn. But I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the commission for the preparation of its agendas. The agendas that I've prepared have been genuinely tagged and are not visibly formatted, and it has a structure tree, which is very important to people that use screen readers, which I do sometimes. So this is better than most government PDFs, but I do have one note that this agenda is titled um, July 15, 2026 Sunshine Agenda Meeting with no indication which body issues it because the document's set to read the title that's in the metadata, not the top of it. It's a technical issue. I don't want to delay the meeting any further, but I at least wanted to recognize that the agenda, that it's doing something better, and that perhaps a better metadata title would be the actual date of the meeting. Thank you for the opportunity to do that, to testify and to enter these onto the record.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Fritz. Anything else?
If you don't mind, Commissioner Schiss, we have been getting quotes from consultants to amend our videos. Our understanding is it's not simply having a closed caption, but we have to do I'd be interested if Mr. Fritz has any input on this. We also have to do a second audio recording to describe everything that's going on in the video, as well as preparing a transcript to make available, which we are trying to get quotes to do. So far, the first quote's been cost more than the actual making of the video. So we're obviously trying to find more economical ways of proceeding forward. And assuming that goes well, we can look at redoing videos that are on our website. We don't have many, but we want to make sure that they're all compliant.
If you don't mind a brief comment. I appreciate the effort, but the fact is that the other day when discussing something with another agency, they said, but wait, the interim rules have been extended, and I had to point out to them that compliance hasn't been extended. I need to raise the issue because I deal with a lot of people that cannot hear who are deaf. And as far as the written transcript, the average person who uses ASL as their regular language does so at a second grade reading level. So I'm not criticizing the committee for it, but I felt it was necessary to raise it. And I'd like to come across that way, that I'm not trying to be adversarial, but to raise something that is an important issue to many of the people that I represent. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that the commission appreciates your efforts.
And again, I hope nothing we've said sounds adversarial either, Mr. Fritz. We appreciate those comments and wish to do better. So, everything hopefully that's been said is that we are trying to meet the standards or do better. I think simply the delay has been trying to get quotes that are, compliant with the procurement code, as well as, are, done in a, efficient manner. But, the intent here is to comply, period, full stop. There's no opposition whatsoever to that.
Can I just add a statement? I just wanted to thank Mr. Fritz for bringing this to our attention. I think it's very important to be inclusive. Quite often in the business of business, you forget that. So it's very important to have reminders, and I thank you, Mr. Fritz. I would also ask that if you know of any resources that could provide the necessary translations, that you provide it to Executive Director Harris.
No, that's fine. I tend to work from the other end, from people who haven't been able to access something. And in the case of captioning, the captioning precedes any extension of the rules. But again, I'm taking the meeting off topic, and that's not my intention at all. I just had a few short statements. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your comments. So the next agenda item is director's report.
If I can ask Benita Chang to cover directors 3, Subsection 1, education disclosures.
Morning, Commissioners. For the financial disclosures, candidates disclosures, as you are aware, were due last month. We'll be posting a list of late candidates filers shortly who failed to file on time. I'm not sure if commissioners are aware, but there is also now going to be a special election for Senate District 18, Mililani District, because of the recent vacancy. September 4th, based on our calculations, September 4th, 4:30 is the Office of Election deadline to submit nomination papers to run. Monday, September 14th, under our statute, is the deadline to file for candidates who are running in that particular special election race. So we'll be fielding and assisting with those filers. We're also currently assisting new board filers with their onboarding requirements, with both disclosures and training requirements. These are for mostly board members that started July 1. In terms of the e-filing updates, again, we're working on the updates to the lobbying e-filing system to implement the new reporting requirements for the procurement lobbying that will take effect January 1. We're also going to be updating the self-guided modules to incorporate these new changes in law, both the procurement lobbying restrictions, which I think were flagged, as well as the new political fundraising restrictions that were recently took effect, Act 228. And in terms of upcoming trainings, we have 2 live trainings scheduled for next week, one for board and commission members, and another one for about 140 DOE principals, vice principals, athletic directors, and educational officers for the Honolulu district. So that will be next week. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
No, thank you for your summary.
He is not available at this meeting, so I will be covering the enforcement statistics. If you take a look at attachment 5, which is available on page 5, this is our quarterly analysis of the complaints opened. We're currently at 179 complaints open in 2026. We have seen a slight decrease since we have updated our website to attempt to inform people filing complaints with us that if it's not involving a state employee or a lobbyist that may not be in our jurisdiction, and trying to help refer them to appropriate location. And we're going to continue monitoring that to make sure that people are still able to file complaints reasonably, but also trying to direct them to an appropriate facility that could help them if it's not us. If you take a look at the next page, which is page 21, there are different pie charts showing the complaints and what was the basis for those complaints. Majority of them are still outside of our jurisdiction. This is typically, for example, someone may be searching for ethics or something of that nature, finding our website and filing with us, even though maybe it involves a dispute with a housing association or something else that's essentially not within our kuleana. The second majority item of complaints that we see the most complaints about is fair treatment. You can see that we opened up 69 complaints within this quarter and closed 75. The median days to close was 26 days. On the next page, we have the attorney of the day trends, which again, you can sort of see the number of, again, attorney of the day. These are inquiries from people asking for advice on how to handle a specific situation. We have a breakdown of the different areas of questions and where they came from. Again, a majority were in the fair treatment, gifts, and conflicts of interest areas. And we would either handle those via oral advice, or would give written summaries. And in some cases, we would actually issue a guidance letter, which is a more formal response. Any questions with regards to enforcement and the statistics I provided?
No. Any questions from the public? All right. So Item 4 is discussion of the status of the state ethics commissioner vacancies.
Actually, sorry, if you don't, apologies, I was just pausing on.
Oh, I
Just briefly, I'd like to address the, we did also attach our quarterly statement, which is showing our budget. I am pleased to indicate that we actually returned a fair amount back to the state. We had a general fund allocation of 1.744 million, and we spent a total of 1.6 million. So we wind up returning approximately, I believe, about 130,000 back to the budget. We've consistently done this. Again, we spend money if we need to, but if we don't need to, we do try to return it. Try not to necessarily be overly fiscally restrictive, but again, we only try to spend money where it is needed. We did see an increase in our budget last year of 5%, which is more than what we'd asked for. We wind up allocating some of that money to doing job comps or job comparisons to make sure that our salaries are comparable to similar agencies, but the rest of it is being returned. I'm happy to answer questions if you have about that, but again, you know, the positive things, obviously we're within budget and you know, things are proceeding smoothly.
My only question has to do with the flooding. Have we closed all the expenses for the flooding incident in this past year?
Thank you for that question. Just as a reminder, we had a flood that originated from our kitchen that flooded both our office, neighboring offices, and up to 2 floors down below. The building manager, the building owner, has handled all the remediation and has filed a claim with the state, which is now pending before the attorney general's. And so that is pending with the attorney general, so I can't necessarily say anything more than that.
Thank you.
All right, so with that completed,
Sorry, one other thing. Sorry, yeah. Is it okay to go to Kristen just to insert? If you don't mind, we did have a new staff join us, and I'd just like to do a brief introduction of her, just so the commissioners can meet her and see her.
Hello.
Everyone, I'm pleased to announce that we've hired Kristen Colburn, who's going to be taking over as an administrative assistant. She comes to us from the Hawaii Tourism Authority and had glowing, gushing recommendations, a tremendous record. She helped Hawaii Tourism Authority with some of its procurement efforts, handled developing the forms and the records for visitors coming in during the COVID period. So just a wealth of experience and professionalism, and really proud to have her come aboard. Did you want to say anything?
Excited to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. The downside, obviously, to having someone incoming, we are going to be losing Lynn Rabbits. Her last day will be on Friday. So I just would encourage the commissioners, if you have time, to stop by and to say thank you for all of her tremendous work that she's done with us. And you know, hopefully there are big shoes to fill, but Kristen will be stepping into those shoes. So thank you, Kristen.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
thank you.
And that.
Thank you. The director's report leads to item 4, discussion of the status of Hawaii State Ethics Commissioner vacancies.
So thank you. We left this on as an agenda item with the hopes that maybe the governor would have selected somebody and we'd have the opportunity to discuss who the selections are. As far as I'm aware, there's not yet been a selection by the governor's office. So just for the public, there are 2 vacancies. There's one actual vacancy and there's one that is a holdover position that the chair is currently filling. And so there are a total of 4 nominees before the governor. And the governor has to pick two of those four essentially for the vacant positions. So there is a deadline, which was 60 days, which I believe will occur. I don't have it off of the top of my head, but it'll occur before the next meeting. So presumptively at the next meeting, we'll either have two commissioners appointed to those spots, or it goes to the judicial council. The judicial council gets to pick those two. So we will see.
Thank you.
Somewhere around August 15.
I believe so. I'd have to check to see when the judicial council submitted their letter and the 60 days runs from that. I know we have a calendar. I apologize.
Well, that's right. For some reason, I thought it was 30 days, but.
All right. So the item 5 is legislative matters, and this is again to Mr. Harris.
So commissioners, great news. A bill that was instigated, championed by Commissioner Thielen, has been signed by the governor. This bill would prohibit executive branch employees who are not elected, who are compensated and subject to appointment and confirmation by the Senate, confirmation by the Senate. It prohibits them from being involved in political fundraising, including attending a fundraiser. And it went into effect upon the governor's signature, which was last week. So it is now currently law. As a part of that, we did send out a letter to everyone we think may be subject to that law, notifying them and letting them know that this is the new law. And thank you to Melissa Voros, who helped create a list of everyone we think who may be subject to it. And we attached the new law and sent it to them as well. So I'm proud of this new effort, and I think it's going to have a lot of positive impacts going forward.
And I'd like to appreciate Commissioner Thielen's effort.
Thank you. Sure. Could we get a copy of that letter and the people to whom it was sent?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. At the next meeting, that'd be just nice for us to have.
Yes.
Right.
Great.
And again, I would like to recognize Commissioner Thielen's effort on that.
Thank
To
you.
move this forward. All right. We imagine this is a quick meeting, but we still have a lot to do. So does any want to have questions on the legislative matters, or does any member of the public wish to testify on this item? With that, we'll move to item 6, which is adjournment. We're moving fairly rapidly. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Taylor. All right, you said roll call, excuse me, roll call vote. We'll give Commissioner Taylor a chance to kind of recover. Commissioner Becker. Aye. Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
And chair votes aye, so the meeting is adjourned, and we can take a look at the scores at the World Cup. Yeah.